Okay, let's jump in. We're doing a deep dive today, looking closely at this one source. It's basically a wrap up from a course aimed squarely at people, say 55 plus, who are thinking about starting an online business.
Right.
And our goal here is really to pull out the main ideas, the kind of journey it describes for you listening in.
Yeah, and what jumps out right away is how it acknowledges where you might be starting from. You probably have questions, maybe some pretty big doubts,
The
actually.
doubts about whether this is even like feasible at this stage.
Exactly. Is it practical? Is it too late? That sort of thing. The source gets that.
But it doesn't just leave you there with the skepticism. It talks about a transformation, right?
Absolutely. That's the core of it.
Yeah.
It outlines this process, this path that takes you from those doubts towards, well, actual clarity, and it gives you tools, helps you make a plan.
And maybe most importantly, it talks about building belief.
Yes, that belief part is huge in the source material. It's not just, a side benefit. It's positioned as the foundation.
The thing that makes it all feel real.
Uh-huh. It suggests that this belief turns the whole idea, starting an online business after 55, from just like a possibility into something tangible, a real practical way forward.
Okay, so a practical path. To what, specifically? What's the promise here for someone in that age group?
Well, income, obviously, that's a big part of it. But the source goes a bit deeper. It really talks about finding purpose again
Purpose. Okay.
and achieving a certain kind of freedom, maybe freedom from a job you don't love or, the freedom to set your own hours, work from wherever.
So it's reframing this whole stage of life, really, not just about winding down.
Exactly. Is pushing back hard against that idea that age is like a disadvantage here. It almost flips it your experience. That's an asset.
That makes sense. And it seems the source argues that progress isn't just about learning more stuff, right? It's about actually doing something.
Yes, precisely. Taking that first step, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect. That seems to be the trigger for real momentum, according to this source.
Okay, that tackles that feeling of maybe being overwhelmed, not knowing where to start.
Right. It suggests the breakthrough doesn't come from having everything figured out perfectly beforehand. It comes from starting, just beginning the action.
Okay, so if you're listening and you're absorbing all this, what are the main things the source really wants you to walk away with? The key takeaways?
Well, there are some really, really encouraging messages right at the end. Things designed to cut through any anxieties about age.
Like what?
It literally says, you are not behind. You are not too late. You are just getting started.
Wow, that's pretty direct. A strong counter message.
Definitely. And then for anyone thinking, okay, I buy into the belief, I want the momentum, the source does give a specific suggestion, a kind of fast track option.
Ah, right. It mentions a particular program.
Yeah, it brings up Michael Chaney's program. It sort of soft introduces it as a way to speed things up, described as a proven system, something already working, especially for beginners.
And how does the source describe the support within that program? Because that's often crucial.
Good point. It highlights the mentorship aspect, getting guidance from someone experienced who's helped others do this exact thing.
Makes sense.
And it makes a point of saying, this isn't hype. It's presented as step-by-step, practical, not pushy.
That distinction feels important, building trust.
I think so. The underlying idea seems to be, yes, it starts with your belief, your first step, but you really don't have to figure it all out alone. There's help available.
So having that structure, that guidance, is kind of the bridge to actually achieving that income, purpose, and freedom the source talks about.
That seems to be the connection it makes, yeah. Linking the internal shift, the belief, with the external action, but with a system to help remove the guesswork.
Okay. So wrapping this up then, if the source is right, and the real change comes from building that belief and just taking that first imperfect step, and knowing you don't have to go it alone, the question for you, the listener, becomes, what's your most important next step right now with this perspective in mind?